Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Riot Lunch and Learn series, the place where we spotlight Riot's sponsors and partners. My name is Jen Morgan, and I'm the Community Development Director for Riot. Just a couple of quick reminders before we get started. This event is being recorded and will be posted to Riot's YouTube channel and uploaded to the meetup group where you registered for the event. If you have any questions throughout the presentation, please place them in the chat. We ask that you place the questions in the chat so that they can be read aloud for those watching the presentation at a later time. All questions will be answered at the end of the presentation, but please feel free to put them in as you have them. Finally, please keep yourself muted throughout the presentation to help mitigate any background noise. We'll have some open discussion at the end of the presentation, so we look forward to speaking with you all then. Today, we have James Schimmel and Jacob Schwick with T-Mobile for Business and Alexander Lewis with Surfsight presenting What's Beyond Your Cell Phone, T-Mobile's IoT architecture. Guys, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thanks, Jen. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for joining today. We're really excited for this partnership and really excited to kind of make you guys more aware and bring awareness around our brand and what we can do for IoT clients, how we're utilizing AI throughout business solutions, and really how we've changed wireless for the better. So with that said, we'd like to take a dive in today. We'll highlight our network improvements, again, our IoT control center management platform, AI throughout a couple business solutions, and really answer any questions that you guys may have. So I'm excited to be here and look forward to talking with you all. My name is James Schimmel. I'm an account executive here with T-Mobile for Business in Raleigh that supports all of Raleigh and a lot of Eastern North Carolina. The local team here is about 10 of me and other account executives. We have about 45 account executives throughout North and South Carolina, and a huge support structure behind us to really help architect solutions that improve efficiencies and drive business across the country. So with that, today you'll be hearing from Jacob Schwick, our local solutions engineer, and Alexander Lewis, our channel account manager with Lytx Surfsight. Jake, next slide. All right, so we'll start by really just highlighting why T-Mobile for Business, the nation's largest, fastest, and most reliable network, providing the best experience for our customers. T-Mobile will highlight shortly, just awarded Best Network in America and the highest value telecom company in the world. We have a dedicated team of support designated for every project. We take a holistic approach to every solution that we put into place, and you have a team local and across the country that can support any project you guys need. A robust portfolio solution of over 6,000 solutions, all powered by T-Mobile's network, can improve efficiencies, protect your investments, reduce costs, and really change how we're operating in the future. We've always been known as the value leader. Pricing has always been competitive and more aggressive than the competition, and T-Mobile prides ourselves in having the best available pricing, promotions, simplified billing, and a price lock guarantee that locks you into pricing. With that, T-Mobile has just announced a couple weeks ago that we are now the best network in the U.S. according to Ookla Speed Test. T-Mobile is the winner of the best mobile network in the country by Ookla Speed Test. OpenSignal has announced winner world's best 5G availability. We are by far the most 5G awarded network in the country, and Ookla's awarded us the most consistent network in the country. So reliability, speed, availability, T-Mobile is overall #1 in all categories in the US. And today we're going to highlight our global IoT footprint as well. So how did we do this? by making really strategic investments in our network, acquiring Sprint about 8 years ago now, repurposing assets, and really taking 5G to where it was intended to go. Meeting extended range 5G, meeting rural networks where broadband isn't available. We now cover 98% of Americans, over 2 million square miles, and ultra capacity 5G now covers over 306 million. AT&T and Verizon are built on a millimeter wave 5G network, to where T-Mobile has really prides ourselves in low band nationwide 5G. T-Mobile has made some aggressive spectrum purchases, and with Sprint's unused mid band without the assets and availability, we were able to turn that into standalone 5G and really change how we're delivering network across the country. And as of today, we're proud to announce that T-Satellite with Starlink is live for satellite messaging for all, and available for all customers, including AT&T and Verizon. We can support their need for satellite on specific devices. So most devices right now are live with T-Satellite, and what T-Satellite is direct sat to cell connectivity, where in most cases you would see an SOS connection. We can now provide SMS, Find My iPhone, and SOS connectivity, and we'll be announcing voice and data later this year. T-Mobile now has over 600 Starlink satellites in orbit, connecting a global footprint and leaving nobody unconnected. Dead zones are soon to be a thing of the past. Just another reason why we're the best 5G mobile network in the country, and we're happy to support. Now we're going to cover some solutions that we have and take a deep dive into IoT and open it up for Jake to take it from here.
Awesome. Really appreciate it, James. Great start, really talking about the background of what makes T-Mobile great, which is truly our 5th generation cellular network. I didn't move slides just yet like we planned because I really wanted to touch on this just a little bit further and talk about what this enables. So you saw all the awards. We're grateful to have them. It means everything to us. We couldn't do it without our amazing customers. And what that really touches on is the largest network, the best network, the most available network, and the most consistent network. But with all that being said, we can only cover 73% of the landmass in the United States. That leaves a large chunk of the United States with mountains and valleys and rivers and lakes and off the coast that can never be covered by a terrestrial network, regardless of how much money and expansion and everything that we have. So T-Satellite enables us to cover that other roughly 27% of the nation with connectivity to power your cellular devices. So just really wanted to emphasize that before we move to the next part, which is discussing our advanced solution portfolio. So we really tried to break this up into 4 primary categories that you can see in each of the 4 corners. At the core of it is truly our connectivity services, our 5th generation network. So just to talk about the categories at whole, and then we'll really dive into IoT and AI. Business connectivity is providing really strategic ways to utilize our 5G network and power all of your endpoints, whether it be a simple cellular gateway for a small business, connecting our heroes, our first responders, like the NYPD with a T priority standalone core in a 5G slice, all the way through creating advanced network systems for public and hybrid private networking for some of the best hospitals in our country, going through multi-access edge computing and what we call as connected workplace, which is really a managed service offering for internet connectivity, which is a big partnership that we have with Cisco Meraki. Working to the top right corner, we also have a huge portfolio of collaboration and productivity services. So things that go past your standard phone service. Core wireless is our bread and butter, but we want to provide businesses with different avenues to strategically communicate, collaborate, and empower their businesses with some of our great partners that are shown on that list. Down in the bottom left, I think this has become maybe the second hottest topic in tech today. If AI is number one, security has to be number two, and they probably fight for that top spot. We are doing a fantastic job and putting a ton of effort in providing creative security solutions for your endpoints that exist on our network. So whether it be your phones, your tablets, your laptops out in the field, and then really protecting even your computers, your servers, and everything else that you can think of, whether it's through mobile device management, threat defense, providing secure Wi-Fi by default, or even patch management. And then finally, what's in the title and what we're here to talk about predominantly is our IoT portfolio. So I'm going to move forward with that. We have this beautiful graphic and really talk about what T-Mobile's IoT provides to our customers here in the United States, but also from a global footprint. So that's really the first and most important bullet point, is the fact that we have a global IoT partnership. A lot of customers here in the United States do business across the world when we talk about logistics or creative ideas that need to expand past our one continent, into Canada, Mexico, over to Europe and Asia. We are the number one option for US companies, thanks to our partnership with our other parent company, Deutsche Telekom, which gives us a great international bridge to keep your devices connected regardless of where they roam. Additionally, we have a large range of network technologies, everything from narrowband, CAT, I'm going to get technical for a second, but LoRaWAN and everything else under the sun, all the way to we are pioneering 5G, fifth generation cellular service for IoT devices, and we are the first company in the world to do so. Additionally, our TIoT platform comes with incredible customer experience, along with global account teams, again, to support you regardless of where your customers are. We have coordinated support that holds your hand from start to finish, all the way through potentially device certification if you're not ready to go to market and you need some help to get there. We also offer industry-leading SIM management platforms with multiple different options, whatever is best suited for your needs. And then in typical T-Mobile fashion, we offer the best value for businesses, everything with innovative pricing for either your direct product or for IoT as a service, meaning your company is not the end user. You sell it to other companies or other end clients. We can service you as well. And we offer transparent and consistent pricing regardless of where you service all the way throughout the globe. Saying it is one thing, but I think this visual really paints the picture of what that global partnership looks like. So you can see pretty much every corner of the world is touched by Magenta, thanks to our partners, with over 188 different destinations on 383 different network providers. We can keep your IoT devices connected. So there's a little bit of information down at the bottom left. I'm not going to get too advanced in what that looks like, but just know that if you establish a relationship with T-Mobile and our TIoT program, you can use your devices anywhere around the world. So I feel like this is maybe the most important thing that we'll talk about all day. And 5G in IoT is almost, it's an enigma. So part of the benefit of IoT devices is that they don't need high speeds. They're usually transmitting small amounts of data at slower speeds. They don't necessarily need what people's mind goes to automatically, which is 5G equals fast. But 5G means so much more than fast. It also stretches 2 to 3 times further than LTE ever can. It also provides better penetration in commercial buildings and through commercial objects like shipping containers. It's also going to provide you better reliability and lower latency. So when you're talking about IoT devices, although initially you're thinking, why do I care? there's so many reasons to care. And for us to be first is just absolutely groundbreaking. So this new technology is called 5G RedCap. 5G RedCap is reduced capacity, meaning we understand that you don't need the really fast speeds, but you do need everything else. You do need the consistency, the reliability, the further reach of the connectivity, and the lower latency. So there are specific chips and software to coincide that bring down the ceiling of the top end for 5G to conserve things like battery life while providing you all those additional benefits. So really, 5G is the next generation for all IoT devices. We're just getting to it first. And it's going to allow you to utilize the best network on the planet to improve connectivity for any and all devices. It also allows for a fantastic value. Again, you're going to see that as a reoccurring theme with lower cost and lower complexity. It's actually enabling longer battery life because technology is getting more intelligent, including these chips and the software that coincide. And again, lower latency is allowing you to power devices in creative ways. Just to put one out there that we're seeing a huge use case for is drones that are cellular connected that require ultra low latency to stay connected and accomplish whatever task that your brain can possibly imagine. Drones are being used everywhere. Some advanced uses that are referenced over on the right are access to a 5G standalone core. So this is the ability to leverage network slicing to create a privatized network that really enable amazing things like what you've seen maybe with our partnership with the PGA, where we have people with massive studio quality cameras that used to have to run to power and fiber that are now running on 5G so that they can get the greatest shots during PGA events that have never been possible before. Or areas like the Formula One events, like you've seen in Las Vegas, that we were a big part of, where we're capturing, again, moments, but also statistics and analytics that have never been possible for, thanks to a privatized network and really allowing these devices to break away from things like being stuck to a fiber line and all the limitations that that comes with. So I'm going to move forward and talk about what is really powerful for you as an end user of our TIoT platform, which is the software SIM management tool called Control Center. Control Center gives you the control over all of your SIMs that power your IoT devices, whether it be by your organization or the organizations that you ultimately sell to, your end clients. It gives you tools like lifecycle management with the ability to automate service provisioning, assign rate plans, and determine billable states. That means the day that you receive the SIMs is not necessarily the day that the SIMs are turned on or the day that you start billing for those services. It gives you the ability to control your life cycle, have the tools that you need in hand, but not pay for the service until you or your end customer is ultimately using those services. Additionally, gives you fantastic insights to analytics and diagnostics. So you can see the health and monitor the service availability. You can also troubleshoot and prevent potential service disruptions through things like, again, automations, APIs, and also useful reports that allow you to maintain control over all of these potential billable services. And finally, we have advanced security, which prevent unauthorized access. They can identify proactively behavior, and they can also detect fraud and anomalies. So some of that, just put in simple terms, is being able to know when a SIM card leaves your device. So you can effectively lock a SIM card to an IoT device or to an IMEI so that the moment somebody tries to pull that SIM card out and gain unauthorized access to your services, you can be immediately notified. So Control Center, again, gives you full control. We put this together so that you have some deeper insights. Again, lifecycle management starts with onboarding all the way through lifecycle shipping to location, the device in use, and also allows you to integrate with APIs to have full control over your IoT connectivity services. The analytics provide additional insights to month-to-month tracking. When we talk simply about data usage, you can see On a sim level, an average data usage over a pool. You can automate transitions between pool to make sure you always have the right amounts available. And it also allows you to control, analyze, and diagnose any potential problems. And then finally, security. I really already touched on the top bullet point, but I also want to say you get full access to customize your security rules to be as tight as you want it, and then all the way through, like you can see, two-factor authentication, predefined security profiles, audit opportunities, and IP restrictions. So the next segment that we're going to talk pretty much through the end of this lunch and learn is AI. I mentioned earlier, AI and security seem to be the two hottest buzzwords in technology today. And we're really blessed to be a leader in both. So first, I want to kick it off and talk about how is T-Mobile using AI today for our network, for customer service, and for product development. So for our network, there's so much AI that goes into it. And really, we've been using AI before AI was hot. So intelligent frequency selection is a big one, which simply means your device is moving from, James showed our layer cake earlier with low band, mid band, millimeter wave, and there's a bunch of additional information inside of each of those layers of the cake. Your device is intelligently deciding which of those frequencies it should be on based upon location, based upon strength, based upon capacity, but also based upon your device's need. So when we talk about IoT, again, when it comes to power consumption, it's probably going to want to be on a lower band frequency that doesn't need as much horsepower, but needs really good reliability. Our phones, our tablets, every other device that we have in our hands or on our wrists all use the same intelligent frequency selection to use the best service at the given time, along with real-time network adjustments and proactive maintenance. So whether that's, again, really just adjusting location, frequency, horsepower, capacity of our towers and the antennas and the frequencies that exist on those towers, or things like proactive maintenance, getting ahead of potential outages or shortages of capacity thanks to artificial intelligence, managing our payload on the back end to tell our network team what it needs before they even realize. The middle one is one of my favorite, already introduced and becoming more prevalent AI enhancements from T-Mobile, which is through customer service, our ability to anticipate customers' needs. A very simple example is going to be, let's say a crazy storm blows through your area and causes some service outages. You call in to customer service, which we have, world-class leading customer service. The system is going to know that your phone and you as a customer live in an area with current tower shortages. And it's going to provide you proactive information on that the moment you either log into your portal or call into customer service. It's going to say, hey, we're aware that there's a network shortage in your area. We're working on resolution. We have people dispatched. We hope to provide you with a resolution shortly. And then saves you time as a customer. Can also execute tasks on behalf of the customer. So again, when it comes to that online platform that our customers will continue to hear more about, the AI is going to provide suggestions and allow the customer to act much quickly, save time, save money, and everything else that comes with. And then that last bullet point coincides with both of those, which is reduce need for human engagement and interaction in a positive way. Again, in the sense of providing you useful insights, saving you time, and giving you information with actionable items prior to waiting to speak to a customer service agent or prior to somebody taking the time to review your account. The system is going to give you the best suggestions. And now, finally, AI for product development it's changing and emerging and growing every single day. I can't believe it. I've been in the industry for a long time, but now we have 6G partnership with NVIDIA that's already active and in the works. So our two competitors, they're still working on getting a grasp on 5G. You saw that we already cover 98+% of Americans with 5G. We're already thinking about a 6th generation network. We have a strategic partnership with the world leader for chip architecture, and we're already building that out. And thanks to AI, it's going to make it even better than we could ever imagine. It's also providing us with items like network slicing, which we've referenced before, and enhanced satellite capabilities, powering your phone through satellite thanks to partnership with Starlink in that other 27% of our beautiful country that can never be touched by a terrestrial network. So in this next segment, we're going to briefly touch on how some of our strategic partners are also using AI. Now I'm going to move through this one quickly to get to the partner that's here with us today, which is Alex from Surfside. But Dialpad is our unified communication platform. So this is a voice over IP that can do it all for every single segment of a business or enterprise. There's really three different products under the umbrella of a UCaaS or a unified communication platform. Everything from your typical business phone system, but it also has a tool that allows for call centers to have Gen AI agents, AI-centric coaching, along with a sales organization and platform that can empower your sellers to have an AI training and playbook at the tip of their fingers and coaching that coincides with theirs, along with real-time transcripts that are available in the moment, but also searchable from a cloud so that you can access that information, relay it to strategic partners, back to your clients, or keep it in your CRM, whatever's most useful for you. This is just a quick showcase of all that Dialpad enables, whether you want to use this unified communication platform on a laptop, on a desktop, phone, tablet, desk phone, those old pieces of hardware that some of us just still need to be connected. There's great use cases for them, and our partner Dialpad connects to every single one of them seamlessly and provides AI from every single one of them. These are the big three categories that Dialpad's utilizing AI today. So automation, assistance, and insights. And without going too deep, I just want to really put this up here and show all the different segments that we talked about. So to put into some real tangible use cases for some of these, transcriptions are great. For me personally, I use it every single day to refer back to what I've spoken to a customer. We help a lot of businesses. We provide a lot of solutions. It's really helpful for me for when I call a customer back that I can look in the same portal back at my previous conversation and understand everything that they need so I can provide the best solutions. It's also great to be able to take those notes and send it to the account executive or the dedicated expert that supports that customer on a daily basis so that they know the solution that I'm providing. There's also things like that coaching hub, which means while you're having a conversation and interacting with a client, the AI is listening to provide you useful tools and insights. If a customer says, I'm having a problem with billing, it's immediately going to prompt billing tools for you to walk the customer through. And it's going to get more advanced as the customer tells you about the specific part of the billing that they're having issues with. For some of the scorecards and playbooks, it can also go to a product level. If a customer references a specific product that you have in your portfolio, it can immediately pop up with a spec sheet with the software support, the compatibility, everything down to the dimensions, the usability, maybe some sales value points, propositions, all of that the moment that it's mentioned through voice. As soon as your salesperson hears it, the AI already has it in front of them. And then to go through the rest of these, there are a ton of different options that enable your clients and your employees to save time and money. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and pass over both the screen and the mic to our incredible partner, Alex, who's going to tell you more about how Lytx is utilizing AI in their world.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate it. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen here. And yeah, that's exactly right. My name's Alexander Lewis. I'm with Lytx Surfside, and I want to talk about AI as it relates to dash cams and video safety. So our product, again, with T-Mobile is the Surfside AI 12 dash cam. We work natively in Geotab, which is the world's #1 telematics provider. So if we're talking GPS, Geotab is synonymous with that. And if you're talking video safety, video telematics, Linux and Surfside are synonymous on this side. So we've been around for 27, almost 28 years. We've been number one in video safety and AI safety for the entire time. And we combined with Geotab and T-Mobile to create a dash cam that works natively inside of your Geotab interface. So if you're tracking your vehicles for speeding, for idling, for geolocation, for monitoring your IFTA reports, pre and post-trip inspection reports, if you have any vehicles in your company at all, this helps protect against every of the other risks that come along with the what. So Geotab is great at tracking the what, where my vehicle is, what it's doing. We are great at tracking the why. Why is your vehicle doing what it's doing, and helping account for and prevent a lot of those risks, all under one roof and all in the best network with T-Mobile. So I always like to show a little example of how it works. But first, why believe me? Like I said, we've been doing this 27, almost 28 years, and we have 55 billion minutes of video that we have gone over and poured over to train our artificial intelligence systems to be the best in the world for a reason. We're in 85 countries. We are in tens of thousands of fleets around the world, and we found some pretty interesting things. So put your, I guess, attention to the first three of these. I'm not going to read all of them, but 87% of collisions are due to avoidable driver error. So most of that comes from habituation. You know, we think we're great drivers, right? Everyone thinks they're a pretty good driver. If you think maybe you need some improvement, you are one of the honest ones out there. But most of us, we think we're pretty great drivers. So we take a little risk and then nothing bad happens. So that reinforces, hey, we're great. Maybe we can take a little more risk. Maybe we can text and drive, distracted drive. Maybe we can, you know, drive a little sleepy this time. It'll be fine. Maybe tuck into a Big Mac, going 90 miles an hour. This reinforces that we're a great driver over time, even if we take more and more risks until something eventually happens, and that's negative reinforcement. So 87% of collisions are due to this, and that's what we try to prevent. And we can actually show a 60 to 70% reduction in the number of incidents, accidents, and unexplained vehicle damage when you have a dash cam that actually helps remind and coach the driver in the cab. And that's what we do at Surfside. And even if there is an incident, we see an average of an 86% reduction in the cost of vehicle crashes when you have a system like ours, not only in the severity, because it's going to warn them before it happens, slow down, take corrective action, but in operations, litigation costs, and more. So I'll show a little example of how we work in the first place. So if you see this line moving here, this is the accelerometer or the black box reader. This is what Geotab is reading in all of your vehicles. And if you can see, as this pink line spikes down, blue line spikes up, this is somebody slamming on the brakes, curve the wheel to one side. So Geotab would report this as harsh braking and harsh cornering. So let's say it's our driver, John, and that John's in our fleet, whether we do HVAC, plumbing, construction, doesn't matter. We give John a call and say, hey, John, so looks like there was a pretty severe event in Geotab yesterday in your vehicle. Is everything okay? John says, Alexander, thank God you called. I was driving along. Everything was fine. All of a sudden, the silver car slams on their brakes. I got to swerve into the breakdown lane. I narrowly avoid rear-ending this car. I know the image is going to be small on your screen, but if you can see this, that is a school crossing zone. That is a police officer, his parent, and a child in the crosswalk. So not only, if this collision had happened, would this have been a 3 to 4 car pileup, but God forbid, if this pushed a vehicle into that crosswalk, we're talking millions of dollars in litigation, lawsuits, operations, damage to brand and value that may be irreparable here, injuries, hospital visits. This is a very severe situation, no matter how you slice it. So right now, John is my favorite employee, probably getting some sort of Christmas bonus, right? But you might guess the reason I'm showing this is that's not the full story. So here's what's actually happening, which is John texting and driving, right? He's not paying attention. He's looking down more than he is up. But thankfully, right about here, the camera is going to coach him in the cab. It's going to warn him in real time that this accident and cell phone use are happening and that are coming up. So he's able to swerve into the breakdown lane and avoid this incident before it happens. So I show this for two reasons. Number one, self-explanatory. Again, this is how we are able to prevent 60 to 70% of accidents, incidents, and unexplained vehicle damage from ever happening in the first place is in-cab coaching. Audio and visual coaching that's coming out of the camera right in their field of view to warn them of this as it's happening, and that's powered by our machine vision artificial intelligence in the camera. And number two, this is how we allow businesses to be able to actually enact their safety policies. I'm sure a lot of you that are business owners go into maybe maybe dozens of meetings a year, talking about what is and isn't allowed in your business, what is and isn't allowed in your vehicles in terms of your safety policy. Here's how we have you or allow you to actually implement your safety policy instead of scanning for cell phone chargers and crumpled up fast food wrappers in the back. This allows you to actually make sure your drivers are operating these vehicles as company vehicles at the end of the day. And what we base our entire company on, if you've worked around OSHA, you might have seen this before, it's called Heinrich's Pyramid. And what it says is that, in our industry at least, is that for every 300,000 risky behaviors in the vehicle itself, you're texting and driving, you're eating and drinking at high speeds, drowsy driving, distracted driving, that's going to lead to 3,000 high-risk behaviors with the vehicle itself. Speeding, harsh cornering, tailgating, lane weaving, things like that, which lead to 300 near misses like we just watched, 29 minor collisions or fender benders, and of course the one major collision, which is what we really want to prevent, right? We want to address these at what we call leading indicators at the bottom so we can prevent the lagging indicators at the top, which unfortunately is where most companies have to address that risk, is those lagging indicators, not the catalyst or the cause of these incidents, which is where we want to start. So camera itself, pretty self-explanatory. We are 1080p, 280-degree round view. We're going to capture pretty much everything in and out of the cab. It's, of course, ability to transmit all of that data into Geotab, so you can see it on the cloud, but it's also stored on 104 hours of drive time on an industrial SD card inside of the camera. We've got an SOS button, so a driver can press that, and it sends a 10-second clip, 5 seconds before the press and 5 seconds after, right to Geotab or right to their fleet manager, their supervisor, their risk manager to notify them if something happens, from severe incidents like the one we just watched, or something as small as, hey, I couldn't get on site, this customer's gate was locked, here's proof of that, just as an example. And we've got the ability to stay on for up to an hour after the vehicle stops or turns off, so we can catch what happens, let's say, between deliveries or between customer visits as well. And what really makes our camera work, like I said, is something called machine vision artificial intelligence, or MVAI, which is, again, we've got multiple patents on machine vision artificial intelligence. We helped invent the smart dash camera industry almost 30 years ago. And this is what makes ours special, is our proprietary AI that is constantly scanning externally for risky driving situations and internally for dangerous driving behavior, and it's going to warn the driver of that as it comes up. So we take pattern-based alerts, which means we're looking for patterns over time. For cell phone use, we're not looking for a cell phone. If you hold your phone up to the camera as you're driving, it's not going to alert because no one uses a phone like that. We are full AI body behavioral analysis. So we're looking for this, for this, for this, for this, everything in between, and the behavior around which you eat and drink, fall asleep, use the phone, are distracted in the vehicle. And we've got thousands and thousands of daily touch points going back 30 years on that as well. So what happens is the camera sees that, and it's going to alert the driver and warn them, both audio alerts coming out of the camera to warn them, and a visual alert on the touch screen itself is going to show. So let's say for cell phone usage, it'll show a cell phone with a line through it. For eating and drinking, it'll show a soda and a burger with a line through it. For drowsy driving, it'll show a person with Z's next to their head as an example. So we're able to gather that information. Again, we have hundreds of real people in our centers in San Diego reviewing billions of miles of footage every year to train this AI to be the best in the business, instead of putting that onus on you, the customer, where a lot of other dash cameras out there, they either don't have coaching features, or if they do, they make you watch hundreds of events per week to go in and go, you got it right or you got it wrong. Just like when you go to a website and that website asks you to prove you're human by clicking on 6 school buses or 5 stop signs. That's how most camera AIs work. We train the AI ourselves and are constantly running billions of miles through it every single year to make sure it can be the most accurate possible. And because it's in Geotab, it's 100% customizable. From turning off the inside lens completely, to changing rules, to saying speeding for me isn't 1 mile an hour over the speed limit, it's 15% over, or it's 7 miles an hour over. Any change that you make to your rules engine inside of Geotab's GPS system automatically gets reflected on the camera. It's one system together, and that's true for camera rules as well. So let's say you're fine with eating and drinking in your fleet. You can just turn that rule off. It's a little toggle switch. Or I'm okay with eating and drinking, but maybe not on the highway. We'll set that rule at 50 miles an hour or above to coach the drivers, or distracted driving. I'm okay with them playing with the radio or checking their phone, but if their eyes are off the road for more than 3 seconds, now we want them coached. So we'll say 3 seconds and above is distracted driving. And the one I always like to bring up, especially because we are in thousands of union fleets, government fleets, military fleets like the Marines, for example, where we want to be able to have privacy in cab, but still have a safety program. So we have that in the form of Lens as a sensor. We're one of the only camera systems capable of doing this. And what it allows is for in-cab coaching and in-cab safety without ever recording the driver. So let's say in our original example, I'm texting and driving, not paying attention, looking down more than I am up, and the camera sees this. It can still audio and visual coach me to put the phone down, pay attention to the road, not get in an accident. It will not record me at all. It will see it and forget it. Won't save anything to the SD card, won't upload anything to Geotab's cloud. What it will do, besides coach me, is take a 10-second outside video of what's happening on the road, just in case there's an incident, and upload that to Geotab with the tag cell phone usage. That way, if I'm, let's say, a supervisor and I log in and I see my driver, John, has 60 texting and driving notifications this week, I don't have a video of him doing it, but I still know it's happening. I can have that union conversation and go, look, John, I know we wanted to protect your privacy. Take kind of a crawl, walk, run approach to safety, start off slow, but you have so many texting and driving notifications. Now we know why you have all these harsh braking notifications. Now we know why you report all these speeding notifications through Geotab, why the idling is off, why we have so much swerving between lanes. It's because you're not paying attention to the road. If we can't coach you out of this, we might have to turn on inside recording inside just your vehicle or just your group of vehicles. So again, we are endlessly customizable. There are a million different ways you can change every rule in Geotab, and they have that 24/7 support team based here in the US. You can always call to help you change it, which I always recommend doing as well. And just to give you a kind of a look into our future, we are always advancing. We're coming out with the AI 14 soon. Also, we'll be with T-Mobile. And here is an idea or a little snapshot of how this actually looks. So this is what the camera is seeing. You can see it's scanning every single vehicle. It's scanning passengers. It's scanning folks on the side of the road there, pedestrians. And as we get closer, you can see it's actually scanning the stoplights up ahead, and it scans cars going perpendicular to the road. So this is how the artificial intelligence actually looks in our camera, where it is constantly scanning every single threat at no maximum speed, which is you could be going 100 miles an hour, and it's going to be picking up every single thing it sees. For instance, this is a great example of how we do tailgating. So we don't try to measure the distance between you and the car in front of you because that's variable. We pick static points in the side of the road and we measure the exact 0.1/1000th of a time differential between that car passing it and your car passing it. So we are always scanning everything that that vehicle is going by, and that's how the AI is able to digest all of this information at once, is holistically. Now, again, we are seamlessly integrated into Geotab. It bears saying. So again, this is not two separate systems. It is one system that will handle everything from your maintenance, from your repairs, to your safety, to your compliance check-ins, from locating your vehicles, to tracking idling, your fuel cards, everything in between. And we add video and vision to that system. So basically, we capture an alert, we upload and store it into Geotab into the cloud. This gives you the opportunity to take a look at this footage and coach your drivers, and then optimize your fleet. And then you can change your rules, change what you're coaching on, depending on what is the most important thing to you. For a lot of fleets, again, no two will be the same. We really want to work on our speeding, our idling, and our harsh braking. For other fleets, it might be lane weaving and tailgating. For other fleets, it might be idling, because there's good idling, there's bad idling. So good idling might be, hey, we're loading and unloading materials, the vehicle's running because we have to move it between different sites. And there's bad idling, like, tucking into a Taco Bell burrito for 2 hours in the AC, sitting in a shopping cart lot. So we help give you the reason why the vehicles are doing what it's doing and prevent some of the accidents and incidents. So when your drivers say, hey, I'm a good driver, we want that to be the truth at the end of the day. All right, and I will stop there. And I think I will turn it back over to you, Jake.
Yeah, Alex, Jake, thank you guys so much. Great job. And really tying it all together before a little Q&A, how T-Mobile can set everything aside, and I apologize, my landscapers are outside my window right now. I pray you guys can't hear them, and my headphones are canceling them.
You're
But
good.
remote work is always a mystery, but we're all adapting. But customized implementation really sets aside T-Mobile from the rest of the competition. T-Mobile is the only wireless carrier that has dedicated implementation teams assigned to every project to manage through pre-sale, post-sale deployment, and handoff to generalized care or a IoT direct team, whatever it may be. We have a very step-by-step process from a pre-sale discussions to planning roadmaps, spreadsheets, tracking device serial numbers, apps needed, staging, pre-programming devices, performing software updates, labeling them, making sure we have the correct delivery schedule in place, and then deploying, porting numbers, unlocking devices, making sure that you have access to every online portal, loading vehicle VIN numbers in, making sure everything is deployed, whether that is virtually in a combination of virtual support with remote partners across the country and local support wherever's needed. And then an inspection, post-sale inspection, making sure that everything is as we said it was before anyone ever pays a bill to T-Mobile, making sure that promotions are there, rate plans are correct, special pricing is locked in place, and everyone who's supposed to have access to the accounts have access to the accounts. At that point, those project managers then hand you off to your local support for anything needed moving forward, and or our prized and award-winning dedicated expert team. So our dedicated expert team, every account is assigned to a dedicated team of expert or a dedicated individual that'll help manage the life cycle of your services with T-Mobile along parallel with any local support that you have. I am blessed to say that I have an amazing dedicated expert that is based locally right in Tennessee. So she understands my customers' needs in North Carolina. She understands the relationship, and she's there to hold our hands through anything that's needed systematically on the back end from T-Mobile. And advancements like this, customized solutions like this, are why we win those J.D. Power and awards that were just on the screen there. And why award-winning organizations choose T-Mobile. Huge Fortune 500 companies like Apple, Uber, Grubhub are utilizing the solutions that we have. The fully automated BMW warehouse in South Carolina utilizing IoT Control Center. The nationwide partnership with Tractor Supply using T-Mobile for primary business internet at every location in the country. Same thing for 7-Eleven, connecting just about every major airline that there is. And we are proud to have some amazing local partnerships that you'll see here on the left-hand side in Samet Corporation, who's the largest general contractor, utilizing us for internet on every remote job site where fiber can't reach, broadband isn't available. eTix is using T-Mobile connectivity at every major event in the area for ticketing, scanning, tracking attendance, and so forth. Riot partners, including Norgine and Opiate, are utilizing our IoT Control Center platforms. Lucid Bots out of Charlotte, amazing drone company that has used us, is now using us for painting drones and a bunch of other solutions. Tough Stump, we're powering their UAVs with cellular connectivity, providing them an IoT platform for heat mapping, and it's just doing some really cool local partnerships. We're great to have them, and there's no wonder why companies like these are choosing to partner with us. We look forward to that, to partnering with any of you on any endeavors that we have. And with that, I do believe we're going to open it up for a little Q&A. There are a couple questions in the chat. It looks like Tom has a question for you, Jake, and then if anybody wants to raise their hand or type them in the chat now, please go ahead, and then we can kind of mediate that. Jennifer, thank you.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and take Tom's question. It's a great one, no surprise. But he asked specifically if the AI frequency selection could be user programmed or if it is only on the back end network. So that's, again, your device is intelligently choosing the proper network either for the need or for other examples, like he mentioned, thinking of prioritizing battery life versus uptime as an example. So the answer is both. So the AI is intelligently built into the network by default. So I might catch a little slack for this, but I'm an iPhone user, despite the technical background. iPhones don't really have anything built into the software to intelligently choose the different frequency selections. You get what you get, and that's the simplicity and the the beauty of iOS. Now, with devices like our internet gateways, so cellular gateways, I can pre-program band selection. So my internet router right here is powered by T-Mobile's 5G that powers my whole house. And what I'm doing right now, and plus 30 other devices, that one I can intelligently say, pick the fastest band always. And I do. Regardless of any other factor, always pick the fastest mid-wave band. And that's where it is. You can do the same thing with IoT devices. Choose the lowest power consuming one and what have you. Some of it's a device matter, but also we can work with you for IoT and other applications to do it at a network level provisioned for your device with a specific network pathway to support your needs. So both are true. Both are possible. That's a great question, Tom.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. It was a really interesting presentation. We'll open it up to anybody who wants to type in a question in the chat, or if you want to come on screen and ask a question, please just raise your hand and I'll call on you to ask a question.
Hey, Jen, this is Tom. I'll ask another question while we wait on some other audience ones. This is forward looking. I don't know if you can even comment on this or not, but you mentioned the partnership with NVIDIA and kind of forward looking. Do you anticipate being able to offer cloud services in the future as you build compute into your network so that edge devices can remain really, really lightweight, but do things like cloud analytics with much lower latency because you're not having to send a signal all the way to a data center? You can just send it as far as a base station and back.
Yeah, no, that's a fantastic question. So the answer is you're right. It's forward thinking, but the answer is yes, in a sense, and it already exists in certain capacities today. So for some of the cloud computing and also back to network selection and building some of those privatized networks, we already do that on a regional basis today to limit latency. As far as how close in proximity and how many of them will exist and how specific it can be, that I don't have a direct answer for that, but absolutely powering cloud computing, getting it as regionalized as possible, and getting you the fastest, lowest latency experience possible is absolutely front of mind for everything we do. A great question.
Awesome. Well, I have a question as well. What is the weirdest IoT device someone has connected through your network? Either something that you all have connected or have heard through the grapevine.
Yeah, that is a good question. James, do you want me to take this one or do you have one top of mind?
The closest one I heard is toilets.
That's what I was thinking too.
Doing some fecal data collections and tracking bowels and doing some really fun things with sensors and toilets. One we have directly on our paper from a direct partner are mouse traps and animal traps to remove manual labor. and manual tracking. And here goes that leaf blower again.
You're
Beautiful.
good.
And then, so yeah, there's a lot. Anything that used to require somebody physically going out and checking something can now be just connected and eliminated via cloud-based solutions.
I have had personal experience with both of those IoT devices, maybe not directly through the companies you all have worked with, but we have had some toilet tracking IoT devices come through our accelerator program, and personal experience setting up IoT connected mousetraps. So yeah, my fingers are thankful that I don't have to do that anymore.
Very cool.
So, question in the chat, with so many use cases, how can an organization figure out how solutions can be of use?
So really,
Yeah.
we take a consultative approach to it. And so understanding that, getting the word out that these type of solutions and consultative approach does exist with a wireless carrier, being able to understand how you're operating today, the problems and challenges you're facing, and the goals you're trying to meet. And we will then connect with our 6,000 partners out there throughout the organization to find what meets that need best, most cost effectively, and provide and meets that solution. Jake, anything else?
I think that was perfect, James. Not shameless plug. If you have a problem in your business today that can be solved through connectivity, and you want to learn how to make more money or make more money with less time, scan this QR code. Let's have a meeting. Let's talk about it. Let's have that consultative meeting. We don't charge by the hour. We're just here to help. And we'd love to have that conversation to figure out what makes the most sense for your business and your product or your solution.
Related to that, maybe I'll ask you to elaborate. You mentioned your spectrum advantage, and I think unquestionably T-Mobile has a spectrum advantage compared to the other big players because of kind of your mid and low band access, particularly what you got through the Sprint acquisition. Can you elaborate a little bit more on some example use cases that really unlocks because you have that particular part of the spectrum, and why that spectrum is different than other parts of the spectrum?
And
Yeah.
in that vein, the question in the chat is there any like online resources to see where those use cases are?
Yeah, just dropped our IoT, just our base website, IoT management. There's multiple use cases on there. There's multiple links. I do believe there's a couple white pages you can download. Yeah, there's a control center brief on there. There's a few white pages you can download. And then we're happy to send you anything. If we'll get your email from Jennifer, and we'll send you a few other links to learn more.
Yeah.
And again,
and to
like
answer,
you said, book a meeting. We're happy to kind of open it up and demo anything and explain anything that may not make sense.
yeah. And I'll answer the first part of Tom's question just briefly. So there's the simple fundamentals of availability being really important. We just came out with a hard number during one of our recent shareholder reports that it's almost 85,000 towers out there in the United States, which is about roughly, they don't quite publicize the same, but it's somewhere between 10 to 20% more than the next best carrier in the US. But what the advanced networks options really mean is that we have multiple standalone 5G cores versus both of our competitors that have one, which are enabling us to do, from a simple standpoint, providing internet in the capacity that we are today through 5G services in everything that internet connects. So we've quickly become the fifth largest internet service provider in the country because we have these 5G frequencies, that 2.5 gigahertz midband, but also because we have so much of it, we have it everywhere, and we have the advanced 5G standalone core to really empower all those devices and the millions and millions of customers that we have using those sort of services. The other aspect that is completely unique to T-Mobile is our T-Priority offering, which is that first responders network, which is a dedicated 5G slice, thanks again to our frequency, advantage in our 5G standalone core, which gives the users of T priority advanced and enhanced priority on our network. It is the only 5G standalone core being offered on the planet, which is why the New York Police Department recently chose T-Mobile for Business or T-Mobile for Government versus the other options out there.
Awesome. Well, thank you all so very much. Any final questions that y'all may have, please feel free to shoot the Riot team an email, and we're happy to connect you with the T-Mobile team. And thank you again for a wonderful presentation. As a reminder, Riot hosts these lunch and learns on Wednesdays at 1 Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Time. You can find a list of our lunch and learns as well as our upcoming events. We have events coming up in person where you can meet the T-Mobile team on our website and on our meetup groups. This event was recorded and will be posted to our YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for joining us today, and I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much,
you,
Riot.
everyone.
It's been a pleasure.